Hey, good people. My name is Nancy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be starting, and this is my premiere video, so it's not going to be live. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, my 58-year, yes, I said 58 out of my 60 years of life that I've been watching the show since I was 2 with my mother to start, and then on my own, and it is my realest pleasure of all pleasures sometimes, and my biggest woe of biggest woe, because my fight is with the writers, always with the writers, never with the actors. I don't fight about the actors, so I will not allow that. No actor bashing on my show. You can talk about the characters, and we will agree and disagree, and hopefully when I go live we can interact with each other live and enjoy that back and forth that goes on and have some fun. But to get things started and not to just keep talking and talking and talking, I'm going to recap what's been going on for the past month of July, so that as we get into August, and this is going to be weekly, so I will be taking my notes and getting ready Monday through Friday to do my recaps on Friday evening if it's something really exciting happening going on. I also will be following the chats that I am involved with on Facebook and Instagram, and answer questions on there that people have for the show, and kind of help giving some background, since yes, I have been watching the show since I was 2 years old, and I am also a frustrated writer for TV, and always feel like I could sit back and write these shows with my eyes closed, and 9 times out of 10 I'm right. People agree with me. So I thought I would take it to the next level and get my own YouTube channel. So this is water, sparkling water, but it's water. We can have fun with that too, because if it's late, then we can go with a glass of wine instead. But in the meantime, what we're going to talk about right now is what's going on in the show. I do have a YouTube pulled up. I'm learning how to use the YouTube channel. So once I get that under control, I'll just pop those little scenes up in there for you, and we can just get to the point. So without further ado, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? Now, today's show, we had to deal with Mike Sonny, or Sonny Mike, um, with Nina, and I have to be honest with you because I am very, very frustrated with the writers right now. I am not watching the show in real time because I need to be able to fast forward past Nina and Sonny, because I don't care what anybody says who likes them together. It's a farce. Bottom line, it's a lie. Okay? He is Sonny Michael Sonny Corinthos Jr. He ain't Mike. Okay? We're not in an alternate universe. I wish we can get it out of the GH alternate universe, because personally, I'm worn out. I'm tired. I'm watching 2 different soap operas. 1 minute we in Port Charles, then we move it over to Nixon Falls, and it just feels like an entirely different show. And I love Maurice Bernard. I follow Maurice Bernard. Now the other actress, the one that plays Nina, I don't follow her. I have nothing against her. I just don't like Nina. Okay? Nina been cuckoo crazy, more bipolar than Sonny has ever been since she came on the show. Okay? She has not grown. There was no, once you found out that Nell was her child, that you should be truly surprised, because the apple did not fall from the far from the tree at all. It said kerplunk. Okay? Here's your tree. Okay? Here's the apple on the tree, and it just fell. It just said kaplunk, right in the same spot. It didn't go far. It didn't go near. It fell directly in front, kaplunk. Okay? Because crazy is as crazy does. And no matter who would have raised Nell, she would have still been a crazy ass biatch. Okay? Because Nina is a crazy ass biatch. Why? Because she was birthed from Meredith. Okay, sometimes uh, Liesel turned out to be a evil mastermind genius, but a doctor on top of everything else. So she don't just use her brain for evil. Okay, but Meredith was your typical entitled white lady who thought it was okay to poison her child into a 20-year coma to take her baby. And then take the baby and give the baby. I don't know if she sold the baby because she might have sold the baby. She was money hungry. But needless to say, the child ended up with Frank Benson, who was crazy because he was abusing Carly's mother, adoptive mother, poor Virginia. Okay, that poor woman was turned around. And if you don't know, you need to go back and check the history. So she never had a chance. There was no turning Nell around. The only thing that would have happened if Nina would have found out sooner is she would have enabled the crazy. Okay? Would she have gone and into the courtroom and told the truth if she knew that Nell was her child at that point in time? I don't think so. So therefore, no, she didn't need to know that. And all the people who want to now throw in, after a year, almost, yeah, no, it's been a year. No, actually, it's now 2 years, 3 years, because Wiley's 3. Wiley Jonas 3. So it's been 3 years Nell been dead. Thank you, goodness, because we don't need her back. Please don't bring her back. We don't need her back. Don't bring her back. Don't bring her back. Okay? Because the chick was crazy. And it was just tedious. All right? And how long does Michael have to suffer? It's bad enough he's sneaking around now with Willow because of Chase. They need to just go ahead and tell the truth. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay? But Nina is wrong. What's happening right now is just 100% altered universe. You are delusional, out of your mind, just like when you took Ava, induced her labor, and took Avery from her body on the guise and instruction of her mother, Meredith, the crazy one, Liesel's sister. Crazier than Liesel. Crazier than Liesel Obrecht, where we like Lisa Obrecht better. Does that make us crazy? Does that make us crazy? I don't know. Does that make us crazy? But let's move on. So you need to get busted, and you need to get busted soon. Okay? Sonny needs his memories back. He needs to go back to his wife, back to his daughter, who is now 2 years old, 2.5. Poor Donna, we ain't seen her since she went to the nursery. So hopefully we'll get to see, because what happened to at least a visual one time of the other kids at the birthday party, poor Wiley. He don't get to celebrate his birthday because mama's crying in the gatehouse and now she having sex with his daddy, the true love. But again, we'll get there. So Michael and we'll get there. But okay. So what we gonna do, folks? How long is it gonna take for Sonny to get his memories back? And writers, this is for you. Please don't have him coming back to Port Charles being upset and betrayed by Sonny and by Carly and Jason, because that would be foul on your part. Making that man come back and be pissed off with his family and friends, the people who have held him down for the last 25 plus years. Okay, no questions asked. Jason has given up his life for him, is now taking care of his family. So no, the only person that he better turn around and give the fire to is Miss Nina. Because if that don't happen, Oh, yes, I will be shouting and screaming at the top of my lungs. We will definitely have a live on that day. Okay? Because there's no way in hell that Nina should be able to come back to Port Charles and think that it's going to be okay for her to reconcile with anyone. Anyone. Reason? Because if Sonny fell off that bridge and was found by Jason and Carly, taken to the hospital, gotten the proper care, nursed back to health where he got his memories back properly, not shoved further behind by a nurse who is, to me, while she's very kind and forthcoming, is selfish as hell because she likes him. Okay, you as a nurse know there are several ways that you could have found out who this man is. You just let him forget about the fact that he came in there with a wedding ring on and an engraved watch, which points out that he was loved. I got a problem with that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how nice everybody think you are. That move and was proceeding and you pushing Nina and Mike together is foul. And your ass need to be chopped, chewed, and spat on that as well. And when Carly gets all this, oh, please, I will be watching in real time for that one. I may wait my little 15, 20 minutes that I usually do if I'm going to watch it the same time on the same day. I'll usually wait like 15, 20 minutes into, so that way I still have the ability to fast forward. Okay. One, to get through the commercials, and two, to get past the Nixon Falls crap. Unless there's something in there that I need to see, like past the gobbledygook or the blah, 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 is what I call it. The blah blah wah 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 wah, like the Charlie Brown adult wah 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 between Mike and Nina, is when it looks like he's going to say something important. Like he told her about his memory that has struck him in the hospital. Okay. I was waiting for that. But the clincher is what we're hoping for, is that he does fall into the frame of the picture somehow. And Wiley sees him and says, "Ooh, Uncle Sonny," or Grandpa Sonny. Now that's going to be crazy. Now we know Nina is scrambling to keep the camera away from, Mike. Why are you taking the call inside the bar? You know he's coming back downstairs. That's number one. You could have stepped outside. Okay. But okay, this is TV. This is what our writers and our directors want to do for us. So she's sitting there where the man can come in from the back and be clearly seen. Of course, Carly's going to walk back in from the patio at that very moment. Of course. And of course, he's going to mention prior to that, just as so, the only two memories that I've had is of a blonde, and I think it was you. And Nina's face was like, oh shit, because that wasn't me. That was Carly, his true love. Let's be straight. The one and only. Okay? Team Carly Sonny 100 forever and ever and ever. I don't care what you say. Don't care. Say it, I don't care. We'll dispute it. But that's all right. You can go ahead and do that. Okay? No, ain't no chance for Nina. No. Don't even fathom it. Because she got to go. Her character now is pushed into a corner where she needs to go. She needs to fall off a bridge and mysteriously lose her mind, and nobody know where she is. And she can go back to Nixon Fall and have Miss Girl take care of her and be with them and Lenny. Okay, that's what you can do if that's what you want to. Because right now I'm done. You done made me tired. Okay, the man needs to be home with his family. Because everything that's happened with from the time he fell off the bridge, all the trouble that they had to go through to get rid of Cyrus, the fact that Cyrus felt he could be Froggy and jump and start the war, Laura having to get involved. I mean, when I tell you the entire town of Port Charles got involved, but the main thing about that getting together was it was the women. Did y'all pay attention to that? The majority of everything that was handled by the women of Port Charles. Jordan, Carly, Laura, even Ava, and I can't stand Ava, but we ain't gonna talk about her and Nicholas today because I'm just not in the mood for them. We'll talk about them another day because they're irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. They're fillers. Okay, knew from the beginning that Spencer was the stalker because that's what Spencer does. He's that kind of guy. He was that kind of kid, and he's older now, so he's in full Cassadine mode. Okay, so if you don't know anything about the Cassadines and the way that Nicholas has raised him from the jump, then you don't understand, and you're not gonna just like Spencer. But Spencer's been through some stuff, okay? And he was a strong little boy. He ain't no joke, okay? Spencer ain't no joke. Now, how they writing him now, I can't speak on because we ain't got far enough. I got to give the new actor a chance. So I'm not gonna roll over on Ava, Spencer, and Nicholas today. We're not gonna talk about that. The main things that we're going to get through is what's happening with Michael, Willow, and Chase. They make me tired. I feel bad for Willow, but I'm sorry. She, even though Chase passed out at the instant that she was ready to tell him the truth, she should have still told him. But that's asking too much of the writers. So again, my mind, you, you know how relationships really work out. She would have did what Michael did. Okay, Michael did it the grown ass man way. He spoke to Sasha with love and friendship because they still had a friendship. While everything could have been good between them, he could have faked his feelings because he still did have feelings for Sasha, but he wasn't in love with Sasha. He's in love with Willow. And one thing about Michael Corinthos Quartermain or Quartermain Corinthos. I prefer Quartermain Corinthos or just Corinthos the third because that's who he really is. I mean, he could have faked the funk, but he chose not to because he's always been upfront. He doesn't like people to lie to him, especially if it's unnecessary. Now, things that have to do with the business, that's the business. He understands that. That's the way he grew up. But when it comes to relationships, he wants the truth. Now, people can dispute that with me, but sorry, I've been watching the show, like I said, for the last 58 years, and there's nothing nobody can tell me about the characters that I don't know. Okay? And if you feel like you want to prove something to me, then YouTube is the best reference I have ever seen. Okay? I've been watching episodes, rewatching episodes back from the 80s and 90s because I love it that much. And that's when the writing was really tight, really good, and had substance. And it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay? Hint, hint. Beginning, middle, and end. Okay? This dragging stuff out forever is boring. It's wearing on us. It insults our intelligence, especially when you try to call yourselves taking a character in a different direction. Sam Wimp. Okay. No, I'm not going to talk about Sam today either because irrelevant. She's a filler at this point. Jason has moved on and he deserves to. I don't know if moving on with Britt was the idea. And I don't have a problem with Kelly Theben. She's a great actress. I love her as the Britch. But I don't know if she's good for Jason. I don't know if Britt and Jason is a good couple. And people talking about, oh, they're in love. No, they ain't. They were just getting started. They just got started a little quickly than most. Okay? You on the run, your adrenaline's running, you survived getting shot at and chased by killers. You got to hide out from the police. It's okay. You can have a little quickie. Just, I ain't in love. But you helped me through a traumatic situation. So that brings me to a in like. I could be deeply in like, but what everybody's saying online about, oh, the love of, no, 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 he ain't got no love of life. His love of his life is Sam. We got to deal with that. That's the reality. It is Sam. Some people want to say Elizabeth. No. At one point, we could have said Courtney, but they didn't get to expand on that relationship as long as they should have, because they did love each other and they were cute together. And she wasn't a punk. Courtney would have been right in there, just like Sam's right in there. So that's what they brought in Sam, because she was a little. She came in edgy. But the thing is that she's been passed around to all the men in the family, and that's why I don't want to talk about her, because Dante, are you kidding me? Son to the man that you almost had a baby with, adversary of of the family against the man that you've been in love with for the last, and married to off and on for the last 20 years. So what can Dante do for you? And then you say the reason why you left Jason, I said I wasn't going to talk about her. You're making me talk about her. I said I wasn't going to talk about her. But I love Sam. I'm just not liking this Sam, because she's a hypocrite. And we're the kids. They got lost in the Quartermain nursery because Lord knows they got enough wings. So, but I'm not going to talk about her. You're not going to make me talk about her. That is not where we're at. Where we are at, and is with Michael, Willow, and Chase now, because that's about to be a fiasco. Thanks to the nosy ass Austin. Did y'all peep him lingering in the background? I mean, what is up with this dude? You just come in and just trying to take your place, and next thing I know, I gotta deal with you minding my business. If I was Michael, I would have been like, Austin, you can go in the living room. We don't need you out here. This is none of your business. So you can step out. You can go in the living room with everybody else. We got Chase. He's good. We don't need your help. But no, he just standing there like a shadow, like a armor, a knight's armor, standing in the corner, trying to get all the tea. What the? Okay, I was not feeling that at all. I was like, can somebody tell this dude to leave the room? Cause why was he there? And then on top of everything else, when Michael goes to comfort Willow, because he's paying attention that it's about her and what she needs. And excuse me, Chase, whether you can walk or not, your wheelchair is able to get to the gatehouse. So you could have wheeled yourself to the gatehouse. The gatehouse is not that far from the main house. There's a path. And that path to the gatehouse is also wheelchair accessible because of Lila. Everything on the property. So y'all slipped on that one, writers. It's called pay attention, because we are. So Austin wasn't needed. So that was useless, and it was annoying. Sorry, because he's annoying. I love Roger Howarth as an actor. I have watched him since he's been on One Life to Live. You know, I accepted him becoming a twin on there. And then when he came on the show and took over as Franco, but before that he was Todd. And then all of a sudden he's now Franco. But no, don't look at him and see Todd, because he's Franco. Okay. Then we get through him going through the reinvention of Franco, to only have him finally get through all the BS that he's been through in the past few years, with his memory being snatched, Drew, Jason, the tumor, everything, to finally find love and happiness to a family that really cares about him with good old Elizabeth, who has nothing better to do than lose her men. They just refuse to let Elizabeth have a man for more than what I think Franco's actually been the longest man that she's had. Can anybody agree with me on that? If you've been watching Elizabeth from start to finish, between her roller coaster ride with Rick and with Jason and who else she tried, and Lucky, and even Nicholas, because he wanted to get with her when he came back before he decided he wanted to get with Ava because she's his kindred spirit. Yeah. So poor Elizabeth, she can't get a break. She's just labeled Nurse Elizabeth, baby mama, who keeps the drama. Okay. Poor Elizabeth. I just feel bad for her. So that was sad. I disagreed with the writers on that 100%. They should not have killed off Franco. I thought it was really stupid at that point to let Peter succeed, and then everything that ensued from that point forward, because we should have never got to Gladys being involved. Gladys. Yeah, we'll talk about Brando and Sasha and Gladys another day when it's necessary. They're not necessary today. But now we have to deal with the fact that either he is going to find out this week or he's not going to find out this week, Chase, that Willow and Michael are really in love with each other and have been hiding said relationship for the sake of Chase, but just couldn't handle it anymore and chose the birthday and the memorial date of their sons to get in the sack. Forget that the child is up at the big house waiting for them and for the other kids to be let out of the cage called the nursery or whatever part of the backyard that they're in that we can't hear them. They didn't have the decency to even put children's sounds in the background so that you know that the kids are outside playing like they did for Violet's party. They didn't even bother to do that, okay? And that's pretty sad. But that's because they were so focused on the adult drama that they did not remember what was supposed to be important on this day. And that was Wiley's birthday. Where was Bobby was there? Was Bobby there? No. Where was Bobby? Where was Lucas? Okay, I got a problem with that. All right. So Harmony brings all these things to the surface. Mr. Man in his wheelchair think he's got the power to tell people that they have to go in the Quartermain house in front of Michael because Willow is quote unquote his wife. And in Chase's mind, believe this, I know it's true, he's thinking he's defending his wife. Okay. But no, you need to be quiet and just sit in your corner because the bottom line, it's about Wiley, and Wiley has parents, and it is Wiley's parents' decision. And more than that, it is Willow's decision because it's Willow's mother. Okay? So, for you to think that you have the right to kick her out, as much as we didn't want Harmony there, but we know she serves a purpose whenever she steps into the view. Some sneaky shit she doing, that they didn't need your voice. You should have been in the living room or stayed in the other room and got your rest like you were supposed to with Nosy Austin. Okay, because I've got a problem with Austin. There's no getting around it. I got a problem with Austin. So, what did we cover so far? So far, we have talked about a little bit about Michael, Willow, and Chase, and we really don't need to talk about more because if you've been watching the show, you know where everything stands right now. The bottom line is We know that Chase is going to find out the hard way that Willow and Michael are together and that they're in love, and the only reason why she married him was because he was on his deathbed. And the moment that he was given the antidote and survived, every time that Willow tried to tell him the truth, he cut her off. Or another crisis was arisen, or Finn would bust into the room. And if it wasn't Finn, it was something else. People naturally assuming, oh, Willow, we love you because you love him. We love you because you love our son, Chase. Really? Okay. So poor little sweet Willow, because she's just the sweetest thing in the world. She's just sweet. I need a drink of water. Poor child can't help herself. She just doesn't want to hurt him, and I feel bad for her and Mike because they're the two sweetest people, but they need to tell this boy the truth. Break his heart now. Now, if he decides to do a nail and say, oh, I'm going to stay in this wheelchair, or I'm going to pretend to hurt myself further because of you, or he's going to fall down the stairs. He's going to come to the top of the stairs and he's going to see them, because you know they don't know how to close no doors. They don't know how to close the blinds or the curtains. They like to free fall everywhere around the house. And I ain't mad at them because I like to free fall around the house myself. But there comes a point in time where you need to close the curtains. You need to close the door. Okay, grandma and grandpa, uncles could have came back to the house with Wiley, and y'all upstairs in the bed just doing your favorite position. So what's gonna happen? Once again, he gonna bust in like he did before when he was at the nursery, up at the main house, and bust y'all going for round two. And what hurts me about it is that Chase is delusional from day one. He just refused to recognize that there might be something that would stay between them that would keep her from making that decision to stay with him. He just refused. And he would put those words in her mouth, and poor little Willow, she just sit there with them doe eyes. I can't even do it. You got the glare. Them doe eyes. And look so sweet. I don't know what to do. What do I say? I don't want to hurt him. I just pray that he understands that my heart is with Michael. Well, girl, you need to tell him. Tell him. So we can all move on. You and Michael can get pregnant because you know you're pregnant too. If you ain't pregnant now, you're pregnant soon. So you're going to have to tell him the truth one way or the other, because you ain't had no sex with Chase since you got back with him. Not a drop. Not even pre-accident or poisoning, I should say. So he automatically gonna know that's Michael's kid. Thank you very much. On top of the fact, let's talk about the writers forgetting or not being consistent with when they sat there and signed those annulment papers, that those papers were null and void because they consummated their marriage before they signed those papers. Several times, as far as we know, in front of the camera, at least 2 or 3 times. But the way they talk about and touch each other, we know it's been more than that. Okay? So that means they would have had to get a legal divorce, a full-fledged divorce. There's no time frame on consummation. Once you consummate the marriage, you're married. For real. Not in name. For real. You did the dirty. You gotta get a divorce. So when they turn those, and Diane knows that. They know. I dropped my book. I think they know that the marriage was consummated. And if they don't, then I guess what they're waiting for is when they do say she's pregnant, And then Diane is like, oh, you consummated the marriage? When did you do that? Was that before you signed the papers or after? Because if it was before, my darlings, you are still legally married and you are not married to Chase. Your marriage to Chase is not valid, which means you guys didn't cheat and she is still legally Mrs. Corinthos. Ching! Ching! Let's get it done. Because you're making me tired. Chase makes me tired. And now y'all see why it was so easy for Nell to wrap him around her finger. Because he is Mr. Gullible. He is Mr. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. And you love me. You know you love me. Yes, he's one of those. And he becomes real thirsty for attention because he know Willow ain't into him like she into Michael. He know he did not have the same relationship and does not have the same relationship with Willow that Michael has, even when her and Michael were just friends. Because their conversations would be totally different. If you pay attention to when when Willow would be with either one of them on her own, and the type of conversations that they would have, or just the basics of their interactions. Now, while Willow was having sex with Chase because that was her boyfriend at the time, it was just something that there was this level of, I don't know, intimacy. Because intimacy is not about sex. It really isn't. So there was always this level of intimacy between her and Michael that she doesn't have with Chase. One example is the episode when they're in the gym and Willow is talking to Portia about nursing school, and he comes up behind the conversation and says to her, "You know what? I it's really strange that I never knew you wanted to be a nurse." And while it was a new venture for her to take her teaching to a different level since she was, kind of kicked out of the school system, which that was better for her anyway, okay? Because if they listen to people who are entitled as Nina and Valentine at the time, then she did not need to be there because they didn't want somebody like her. And I liked her. I liked her as a teacher. She was always a sweetie pie. And it would be nice for them to show her interaction with the children in the hospital once that gets back on track. Once we get past all this drama and she's pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Because we know it's coming. So I'm going to keep saying it because we know it's coming. She's pregnant. Okay? You can't be rabbits like they are. Her and Michael are rabbits. Okay? We're so compatible. Ooh, even more than I thought. Okay? I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. But we know it's coming. So I want to see that. I want to see her interaction with the kids, and I want to see more of that family union between the three of them once they give her the chase. Once the truth has come out and everything can kind of settle down, and we can also get rid of Austin, because Austin, really, Roger, is it just about a check? Because at this point, it's like character number 3, 4. I love you, but I love GH, but you know, and that's the name of the show. I love GH, but so the last thing I'm going to talk about, because of the birthday party today and Jason feeling the need to explain to the people in the room why we are minding our business, why we're supposed to be minding our business, and letting Michael and Willow handle Harmony, giving Valentine and Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn already has some of the background because she was around back then, story on the Willow Harmony relationship. I think it was too much information. Valentine has proven himself to be a better person, and I'm starting to feel bad about him again. We're not going to talk about him today either. We'll move on about him because the thing with Maxie, we know why Kirsten had to be off screen because of her recovery for the brain surgery. So prayers for her because she's still recovering, but she is coming back to the show soon. Um, and we're going to go back into that roller coaster ride. I feel bad for him because he is not deserving of the lie. I believe from the beginning that Maxie should have went to him and Liesel, okay, and incorporated them into the plan, because then there would have been no holes barred, okay, because if Peter, by some stupid writer's chance that that fool got out of the freezer that had no blood in it. No, no blood. How do you bust your head wide open and have a pool of blood everywhere but in the freezer? Yeah, writers. Yeah, directors should know better. It's called consistency. I'm gonna get out of your face now, but do you understand what we're saying? Because that's a problem. Not a drop of blood inside. Not a drop. But you're finding droplets, not smears, so he's not dragging himself against a wall. So you're trying to say somebody had him, but how would they know? And please don't tell me Austin, because how would he know? Did he read Lucy's book? Because Lucy's book tells every secret, every secret, every secret, catacomb on Spoon Island to the mainland. Yeah, all of that. So that would be the only way I would think that Austin. But when did he have time to be following everybody? Which means to me that he was always in on the plan because I still got a problem with him all of a sudden showing up in the woods that he claims to hike every day to help Maxie deliver her baby in the woods and then turn out to own the home that Peter rented to kidnap Maxie and have force her to have her baby in with the nurse. We're not supposed to think that he's involved in any way. We're just supposed to put that aside and forget about it because now you've thrown in the fact that he is Jimmy Lee Holt's son, which when Anna saw the picture and she was like, I knew his father. And that's all you said until he introduced himself at the Quartermaines with Scotty Baldwin. Why is Scotty involved? Do you hate people that much? Your life is so little that this is what you do with people that you've known your entire life? I didn't know he hated the Quartermaines or that he had a problem with the Quartermaines, that he is helping this outsider. Because regardless, Jimmy Lee came in as an outsider to cause a scandal and did so. Got his ass disowned. Okay. Went off to Never Never Land as General Hospital does. And then now we learn that he died 6 months ago and this is his son by a, another, his wife, and just raised them out of town, what, miles away in Potock, which I think is a play on Port Chuck, but Potock. So not that far away in all these years since Jimmy Lee left, you make no effort to pull this bullshit thing. So, like Brooklyn, I'm like, nah, dude. She's from Bensonhurst. I'm from the Bronx. We ain't falling for the crap. We ain't falling for it. So all the people that want to say, "Oh, give Austin a chance," no, we are not going to give Austin a chance because there's something slimy about the boy. He's slimy. I think he knows who Brooklyn is. I think he was working with Peter. I do. So, and if Peter's alive, I'm gonna be pissed as the shits. I love Wes Ramsey, good actor, no problems with Wes. But his character, there's no redeeming him. He needed to die, and he still needs to die. And Maxie needs to be able to bring her baby home and raise her children with Spinelli. Spinelli needs to be back full time, working with the family, doing what he do. Okay? And once we get all this resolved, can we please give the Corinthos family a flipping break? I mean, pick on somebody else, why don't you? Go after the Cassidons. Take all their shit. Okay? Can we just leave the Corinthos family alone for 5 minutes? Maurice got his break. He been off camera. He ain't had to work as much. He's got his break. He taking care of his state of mind. Bless your heart. But it's time to come back and wrap this shit up. So they can move on to something else. Go after the Quartermains, but leave Michael out of it. Please. Let him have some peace. Let him and Willow have a moment's of peace. Please. 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 But now I'm rambling. I'm going to go. If you like what you see, let me know. Wasn't supposed to rhyme there, but it'll work. I'll be back next week. Probably, no, at the end of this week because it's Monday. So today is Monday, August 2nd, 2021. My name is Nancy. And again, I love GH, but see you soon.